Welcome in to Game Day Sports Radio. It's the Jags Den, brought to you by Game Day Sports Radio and the RFG Advisory Group. Coach Lambert, school is out. Summer camp is in Auburn next week. So are all the forms filled out, the medicine list, permission slips, all those in order?
We're close. I'm still waiting on a few waivers, actually. I needed to send an email out about that tonight. I'm still missing some waivers, but medicines are good and our rosters are set and we're ready to go.
So anything particular about camp? I believe there's some changes this year to the format or how it's working in Auburn.
A little bit. They've changed a few of like the judging, scoring things. They've changed the names of things, but for the most part, we're still going down there competing a camp routine, which is similar to more of a traditional style routine. We're competing what they now call a spirit routine. They've changed the name. We're competing that, but it's like a game day routine. Again, same thing, different name. But we're going down looking to do our best, and hopefully we'll have a lot of girls that try out for All-American, come home with All-American honors. We're looking for some big program honors as well. We actually just had a talk at practice for about 15 minutes about what it means to go down there and be a kind, respectable program, how we are to others, how we are to the staff, and how we are to each other. So we're really excited about hopefully going down there and making a big splash at Auburn like we did last year and hopefully doing even better.
Right. And what time do the girls need to be at the school for the bus that day?
7:45.
Okay.
It's going to be an early morning of turning in their phones. Hopefully they'll be too asleep to even realize they're turning their phone in. But yeah, we'll meet at 7:45 and we'll probably get rolling around 8 o'clock. Okay.
And then a couple of notes on the cheer program. This is year 2 for you. Well, as the head coach, right?
Yeah. Year 4 in total, which is crazy.
Yeah. So you mixed it up this year. You have JV and varsity, no freshman squad. Is that the first time it's been this way?
In as long as I've been around, yes, that's the first time it's been this way. It makes the most sense for our program, just the direction that we're heading right now. Our JV, we are trying to build them to be as hyper competitive as they can be. And JV and freshmen already combined to compete for game day and traditional. So having them stunt and function as separate teams on the sideline really did not make much sense because we couldn't successfully have our freshmen practicing with our sophomores on JV as much as we would like for them to, like where varsity gets a ton of practice on Friday nights because all of their groups are there. We weren't getting that same benefit with JV. So it just made the most sense to go ahead and combine those teams. Our numbers were also very low. Last year, our JV team only had 10 people on it. Our freshman team only had 13 or 14. Again, why have a group with, 2 stunt groups and 3 stunt groups when you could combine, have 24 people, and then that is a 6 stunt group team. Again, it just makes the most sense. So we're really excited, and we've already really seen results with that. JV is competing a harder routine at camp than they competed at the state championship last year when it comes to their ending pyramid. So we're really excited for the progress that we're going to see them make.
Right. And then a couple of years ago, as far as I know, you would bring up a couple of freshmen just to get them acclimated so that when they did get to varsity competition, that they weren't just shell-shocked, a deer in the headlights. Mm-hmm. So now you're going to have freshmen and sophomores on the sideline on Friday nights, but the sophomores is not that unusual, but the freshmen, they're going to be in a whole new situation there.
They sure are. They're going from Thursday, very middle school, 8th grade games to Friday night lights at Jaguar Stadium. It is a big jump, but I thought of that through as I was placing the teams. These 3 freshmen we have on varsity are very capable. They're very strong, and we're really, really excited to give them the opportunity to grow on the varsity squad for 4 years. It's going to be the first time we really get to see what that development looks like from a varsity freshman to a varsity senior and watch those same people make the trek all the way through. We're really excited about it, but the learning curve on the front end is huge. We have something called pass-offs. Any of our girls could tell you about it, where they have to do all the material, not make more than 3 mistakes before they're allowed to cheer on Friday night. Typically, any newcomer to the program, any freshman, is not going to have to do that pass-off until right before Labor Day because that's when freshman football starts. These girls had to do it last week to prepare for our spring game. It was 40-something sidelines. We only did a few of the band dances, so I think we had 8 of them total. But that was a ton of material that nobody in our program has ever had to learn that early. And you saw all of them out there on Friday nights, which means that they all passed off and they did a great job. But it's a ton of responsibility, but we're really excited to see them get to grow and get to see what they bring to our team as a younger dynamic.
You mentioned that spring game. It's only a scrimmage, but at the same time, how much experience, is that going to help with your younger athletes that we're talking about? Not to mention also the upperclassmen as well, but especially the younger athletes. It wasn't a full crowd, but it was a nice crowd for a spring game. And you could tell that they were, on the big stage.
Yes. And it really does give them a taste of what a Friday night is like. I joked around telling them that it was like, like the diet version of a Friday night, like Diet Coke, because we didn't do the run through. We didn't do Jag walk. The band wasn't there. Like some of the big pieces were missing, but the cheering, the dancing when music came on over the PA, that was to its core what a Friday night is for us. We cheer, we dance, we entertain the crowd with stunts. We got to do all that. So it was nice. You pull back some of those big layers, I'm the biggest fan of the marching band. I love cheering and dancing along with the band. So I personally hate the spring game because they're not there, but I don't hate the spring game, but I hate that they're not there for it.
Right.
But it is nice to kind of have, again, pull back a few of the layers, be able to break it down to what we do just at its core is cheer, dance with the music, and, cheer on the team, stunt, do whatever we need to do. It's good to kind of get them that. It's like putting your toes in the water. Like this isn't all the pomp and circumstance of a Friday night, but it's enough to where when we get to August 21st or 23rd, whenever the kickoff is, it's not going to hit them as hard because they've already done the meat of it. Then we just kind of get to put all the fun stuff on with Jack Walk and the run through and all that.
Yeah, it's not the same without the band, but thankfully Ramsey brought their band, which was very good and very
Ramsey's band was so much fun. The girls were like, "Can we dance to Ramsey's band?" I'm like, "No, we're not. We're not dancing to another team's band. That's a no on the sideline." But no, Ramsey's band and their fans brought a lot of energy. It was a ton. That was the most fired up spring game I think I've ever been to.
Yeah, it was entertaining.
So,
right.
Controlled scrimmage. I still say we won.
Right. Yeah. Well, they played first half and then they turned the score over. So, yeah, but it was all about getting reps. And I like the spring game from the football standpoint because the second half was mainly second and third string. Right. The younger kids get a chance because they're busting, they're busting it out there in spring. And maybe this fall they're not going to get a lot of reps, but they got to get some in last night.
Right. It's super fun.
All right, Coach, do you have anything nailed down as far as the competition schedule? We know that you have to get to nationals and qualify. That's on Super Bowl weekend of 25.
Yes.
All right. But do you have the competition schedule set for the fall?
Dates are still being solidified, but we should go back on our normal path of Space Center Regionals up in Huntsville, which is towards the end of October. We'll do the AHSAA Super Regional, which is beginning of November, usually. The Magic City Regional, which is middle of November, and then the state championship is in December. None of these dates have been officially set yet. They change them around a little bit over the summer, so I'll maybe hold back on giving an actual date just in case. But we are currently considering, as a program, potentially taking a trip actually up to Tennessee to compete in another UCA regional. Several different reasons. Number one, fun trip, gives our JV competition just lost my train of thought mid-sentence. Sorry. Gives our JV team a chance to go compete against some out-of-state teams, see some new faces before we go compete at the state championship. Same thing for varsity. Gives varsity a chance to go against some different teams. But also we found out that they have raised the qualifications to qualify for nationals this season. You have to score higher than you ever have before. You have to score a 90 to qualify for nationals. Now, in game day, that's not a problem. We were averaging 96s in the regional season last year. Not an issue, but for traditional, that 90 is a harder number to hit. So we go to Space Center and we go to Magic City, and God forbid it's not our day and we don't do well, we'll be forced to go to another competition to qualify for that national event. So we're preparing ourselves to either, I want to go to Tennessee by choice, but it's always on the table that if we choose not to go and then we don't qualify, we're ending up there by force. But I want to keep my fingers crossed that we all take a trip up to Nashville, have fun.
Stress-free, right?
Stress-free. It's just another opportunity to get on the floor and get the girls' experience before either the state championship for JV or the national championship for varsity.
All right, Coach, we're going to wrap up this segment, and after a short break, we're going to come back with you, and you have a new member of your staff you want to introduce.
I do, and I can't wait for y'all to meet her.
Welcome back to Jaguar Stadium. For the past 10 years, this place has been like a second home for us, and we are proud to be a part of this community. Last year, I moved my wealth advisory practice, RFG Advisory, to Inverness because we believe that investing goes way beyond the stock market. It's about local support, planning for a better future, and serving our neighbors. So let's enjoy these Jags and their relentless forward progress. Go Jags!
Coach Lambert, we're back after a short break. You have the newest member of your staff to your left.
I do. This is Coach Alyssa Perry. She is our new junior varsity coach. I am thrilled to have her on board. She's excited. She is amazing. She's talented. She's incredibly knowledgeable, and I can't wait for you to find out more about her, hopefully in person soon. But for now, the video interview is going to have to do.
Great. Coach Perry, you have a teaching role at Spain Park.
Yes, I do. I'll be teaching 9th grade English, advanced in general, starting in the fall.
Okay. Now, you and Coach Lambert go back. You competed with each other, against each other, or did you go to different schools?
We went to the same competitive gym. We both cheered at Ace Cheer Company, and we were on different teams, but we're around each other, similar levels, similar tumbling classes. So we knew each other's faces, and it's been kind of like everything comes back to the beginning. I mean, even another coach that's on staff, Victoria Witten, everyone just came from the same gym, and it's just been really awesome for it to all come back together and be with someone that we're all so comfortable with.
When you were cheering, did you have a specialty as either tumbling or stunting or?
So I tumbled and stunted, but I felt like what I was always the best at was stunning and being a side base. That was really my strongest thing going through cheer. And it's funny, I actually got changed that in college. I was a back spot in high school, got changed to a side base in college by my college cheer coach, and that was really where I felt like I belonged the best.
And you cheered at UAB. Did you do both basketball and football, or?
Yes, so at UAB we cheered for basketball, football, and volleyball, and we also went to UCA Nationals as well. So we went and competed against bigger name schools, Alabama, USF, I mean, just Ole Miss in that same division with them, all girl Division I. So
was it in the same complex down in Orlando?
Yes.
Yeah, that's fabulous. People don't understand that the athletes, when they go there, there's over 100,000 spectators there for the weekend.
It's packed.
It's the same arenas that they play college basketball tournaments in, and it really is a big stage. And I've been 2 years now to watch it, and I've always been really impressed with how the athletes handle it, because I don't want to tell them how much, what a big stage they're on, because they're just so tuned in. But I mean, those are the same arenas that college basketball has those tournaments, and it's really impressive.
It always gets a little bit more real when we talk about the venues, when I have to remind them, like, okay, at Nationals, when you're standing backstage, you're about to go on, there will be an ESPN camera right in front of you. And like, to me, but I've been in the cheerleading world for 21 years now, normal. Like, I was very lucky with the childhood I lived. I competed at Worlds and the All-Star Worlds when I was 7, 8 years old. So being told that I was going on ESPN happened to me in the 2nd grade. I'm very conditioned to it now, but looking at these high schoolers for the first time, I'm like, so you'll be backstage, ESPN camera's going to be right there. There's going to be a hovering one going across the stage as you compete. And they're looking at me like,
are you serious?
What are you talking about? I'm like, yeah, it's just a camera. But it goes to show that, for a sport that in a lot of ways is underrepresented in a lot of different ways in just the sports community, it's really crazy how ESPN and Disney World and all of those companies that come together to sponsor the National High School Cheerleading Championship have put such a spotlight on cheerleading. The venues are crazy. The amount of people there are awesome. I mean, like, it is a full-on production. And if you've never been there, I guess talking to the camera, if you've never been there, it's a trip to make, 100%.
It is very impressive, and the athletes are impressive. And this is not the cheerleading squads of the 70s. They're not these aren't athletes that sit on the sideline, rah, rah, ree. I mean, they are athletes, and they do some tremendous things. All right. And Coach, are you going to you're going to be at camp this year?
I will be. So I'm the JV cheer coach, so I'll be working with JV, but we'll be going back and forth. I get to see varsity and go hang out with I guess I would say assistants, but they're not. They've been running the cheer team and the JV team until I've joined the crew. I mean, I just got approved about 2 weeks ago, so I get to go to camp and hang out with everybody and work with JV.
Yeah, well, welcome to Spain Park, and thanks everyone for joining us here on the Jags Den. If you're new to the cheer program, you can check out cheer videos from the last 2 years right here on Game Day Sports Radio. You go to playlist, and then the playlist that's titled Speed Network Spain Park Cheer. You can view about 40 different videos that have to do with cheer, and we plan to add many more next season. Thanks, ladies. Go Jags.
Go Jags.
Go Jags.